We're just excited for season number two. We divide our program into three different seasons: season one, season two, and then the postseason was season three. So proud of the progress that we made in season one. We had a lot of different lessons, a lot of different experiences to take away for a really good Florida team as we kick off SEC play. They're extremely well coached. They do a really nice job of transition. So transition defense. And then secondly, a really great job on the offensive glass. They've got, an extremely seasoned team, also have added some new faces with some very talented young players. They remind me a little bit of us in the fact that they do return quite a few talented veterans that have been a part of their system. And then also really too, Liv McGill and O'Neill, they're very talented freshmen. So I think it's going to be an intriguing matchup for us because, they're Kyle is extremely talented at the five spot. She reminds me a lot of, Van Sluten from Michigan State and Onway from Cal. So we're going to have to do a really good job of guarding them inside out. We'll start in protecting the paint, and it will start in making sure we get back in transition D and get our defense set. So we're just excited to be at home, excited for the opportunity, and ready for season number two.
Perfect. Matthew, we'll start with you. Just go ahead, question after question.
Coach, what's kind of the feeling in the building? Because you talk about that second season, just kind of the players and the staff. What's kind of like the a word to describe the collective feeling?
The feeling in the building is, just a tremendous work ethic. These kids really do a great job of bringing it every single day. And then it's a special group. They're really selfless. They just want to put their team in a position to be successful. There's a lot of unrequired that I've noticed here over the holiday break. The ball is bouncing, and I'm in the office and I walk down the hall and I'm like, wow, it's a really special group. And so, I know that their heart's in the right place. I always say if your head and your heart are in the right place, your feet are going to follow. And I know this group understands what's ahead. As far as our veterans, we've got some new faces to the SEC. I think everyone talks about, Aaliyah Nye and Sarah Ashley Barker. Essence Cody's only a sophomore, and then Zay's been a part of the SEC back earlier in her career. But then you've got our young players and a couple of transfers. So it's going to be an interesting journey for us. And there's not another group I'd rather go on it though than with this group.
And Coach, it seems like anyone can have a great game. Is it just can that be because of a matchup that they have, or is that sometimes by design?
I think it's based off matchup and game. It's interesting because we felt like, the addition of Zay Green would, give us another dynamic that you just can't focus on SA or Aaliyah or Essence. When you can add that fourth presence from a scoring standpoint, also you add Diana Collins, and then you've got a Carly Weathers who can score it, has really improved her offensive game. I think the balance that we have offensively in so many different directions on any given night, you've got Eris coming off the bench giving you double digits. So it's not that you have to pick and choose what you take away because we feel like we can counter what you decide to take away. And, to have four in double figures is always our game goal. We've been fortunate to have a few times we've had five, and I like our balance as a squad.
What is the thing that has given you kind of like a sign that maybe this team that you have this year is really ready for this SEC play off the bat? What's like a sign that a good sign that you've seen?
Well, I don't necessarily think as coaches we always think we're ready. We think there's so many things we need to continue to improve on. I think the biggest thing with this team has just been their focus and their preparation. Like I mentioned earlier, their work ethic. It's unique. We've got tremendous leadership in our locker room, and that is something that the best teams are player led teams, and we have a seasoned group that understand how to do that. And I'm very blessed as a coach to have that.
We'll do two more.
And okay. And Aaliyah and I had an awesome game this past week. What can she do against Florida to kind of keep building off of that game that she had?
Well, I think it's important, to understand that, she if you don't give her a lot of open looks, somebody else is going to get some. But she did a really great job, I thought, of moving without the basketball. And I think the biggest key to that is when our team can get defensive stops, we're going to be able to free up our shooters. And, she mentioned to me her mom had cooked collard greens and black eyed peas. So I asked her yesterday, was her mom going to cook again today? So if I need to arrange that as part of the pregame meal every week, I've thought about doing that.
Yeah. I guess just one more to kind of wrap up. As far as getting into some SEC play, how important is defense going to be for every one of your starters throughout the second season, as you said?
I think there's two things. The most important thing is to defend the glass. We've got to rebound better. We've really worked this week on, understanding the importance of putting a body. This isn't a league that you can out jump people. You've got to be fundamentally sound in your rebound responsibilities, and we've got to defend the glass. And then secondly, it again comes down to easy baskets, easy baskets a putback. So we've got to do a really good job of getting back in transition and limiting easy looks at the rim. And it all starts with the presence on the ball and a heavy load to the ball side. Florida does a really nice job of the kick ahead. That's a little different than we've seen lately. So our, transition defense game and plan is going to be critical. And that's always the way it is. Our league is a league of easy baskets, and we've got to do a really good job of defending the easy basket.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
y'all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.